was limited to just 9 games last year, dealing with hamstring issues in Atlanta. But he's a Titan now, and Titans don't have hamstrings. That's not true. Yesterday, Julio addressed those who are doubting his health. Take a listen to this.
At the end of the day, I believe in me. I know what I have in the tank. And we're talking about age is 32. Like, I'm young. Like, in football, you can say it's old, but you either do it or you don't. You know, this game don't change for me. I'm still fast and still strong. And to, the games last year, I just, had an issue where I didn't take enough time to heal up properly. But, that was just my decision on going out there and just playing. There's no excuses, things like that. But I'll be ready to go. So for those who questioning my health and things like that, just stay tuned.
All right, Brandon, what did you make of what Julio had to say?
Yeah, this is where history, you need to throw history out, right? A lot of times we track numbers, we track behaviors, we track certain things, trends that probably, try to predict the future. And a lot of times in professional sports, we look at it and say, oh, back in the 80s and 90s, guys were playing in their prime at 26, but then when they hit 30, this is where we saw the drop off. Well, modern medicine, modern science, this is totally different now today than it was, 10, 20, 30 years ago. All you got to do is follow a guy in the offseason, see how he's taking care of himself, seeing how he's eating. This is a dude who take care of himself. So 32 is nothing. 32 is 26 when you look at where guys were 20 years ago. So Julio Jones will be fine. Hell, they said the same thing about me. Back in 2014 playing in Chicago, I had 721 yards. And everybody said I was done. Then all of a sudden I get traded. I don't even know what I got traded to the Jets for, maybe a bag of chips. And it's the same thing for Julio Jones. So this was year 9 for me. This is year 10 for Julio Jones. Julio Jones last year had 771 yards. He played 9 games. He'll come out and he'll probably have a better year than I had than my first year with the Jets, where I went for 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns in an all-pro year. Julio Jones is a dog. Julio Jones will be fine. I like it, Nick. Yeah, I know.
I agree with all that,
Listen,
except
I
for I don't know if he's going to have better than that. Yeah, there you go.
There's some really interesting things to say yesterday about what became a rather tumultuous offseason for the superstar quarterback, specifically the trade rumors swirling about. Take a listen.
I think there were some, unfortunate frustrations after the season. Obviously, you want to win it all and do everything you can, And I think everybody on our team does. We all want to win it. And, I think unfortunately it got a little, little bit blown out of proportion a little bit. There was a lot of teams out there that people were saying that I was going to or would go to. I requested a trade. I did not request a trade. I've always wanted to play here, and the reality is, I think calls were getting thrown around and this and that, and I think that's just a reality. But I think at the end of the day, the real reality is that I'm here, and I'm here to win. And I'm here to win it all. Well, I think there was a lot of confusion because the reality is that I forget. I think I was in the Bahamas or somewhere, and everybody was saying that I requested a trade, and that wasn't true. So we made it clear that I did not request a trade. And then there was teams being flown around that I was going to go to those teams, this and that. And so, I think that when you look back at it, it's part of I don't know. It's part of it, unfortunately. And I think that. More than anything else, that I got my wish, in the sense that I've always wanted to play here. That's where I am. That the reality is that I didn't really want to go anywhere else. I wanted to play in Seattle, but if I had to go somewhere, these are the teams I would go to consider. At the end of the day, I have no trade clause, right? So I think, I think for me though, I had a great conversation with Coach Carroll. Had a really great conversation with John too. And Coach Carroll and I spent a lot of time together, one-on-one. And we're on the same page. We're here to do what we're meant to do, and that's to win it all. And I'm excited.
There's a lot to unpack here.
So good.
After not speaking at all, Russ opened up and said all the words, apparently. Brandon, what was your reaction to Russ saying he never requested a trade?
Oh, man, we were on that train for what, 2 months almost, tracking where Russell Wilson was going to land, what was going on. Look, there's some people out there just have it. They have this gift, the art and science down of playing with words, and they know how to articulate themselves. They know how to speak in front of people. They know how to say certain things to get people to move. Russell Wilson's one of them. We have 2 people on our show that have it. Hell, Jenna Wolfe, you're one. Nick Wright, you're one. Like, you guys just have the art and science down. So when you look at Russ, he probably went there and said,
Chop
hey,
liver, Wilds. Chop liver.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Wilds is entertaining. Wilds have the art and science down to entertain. There's some people on TV, right, that just makes it fun. Yeah. They break up the monotony. Right. They take the stats and they just make it fun. That's Wilds. But no, here's the deal. So you have Russell Wilson walks into Pete Carroll's office, or maybe he was on a boat in the Bahamas like he said he was, and he called Pete and he said, hey, Pete, look, this is what I want. XYZ. If we can't do this, here's 4 teams I want to go to. The Las Vegas Raiders, they're attractive. You have the New Orleans Saints, and there was a couple other teams he threw out there, or his agent threw out there.
Bears.
So I believe him here. Russ is not one of those guys that's going to stand in front of people and lie. Now, did he get creative with his words? Possibly, Nick.
Yeah, this is the Nick Wright school of truth telling. Which is, if you read it in a transcript, you're like, I defy you, I dare you to find a lie. And it's like, I can't. But am I telling the truth? Of course not. I've never related more to Russell Wilson, to be honest. Like, it's like, I'm not lying, but I am definitely misleading, manipulating, and not telling the truth. It's a great tactic, and I don't know where and when he learned it, but I endorse it fully. It makes life easier. I mean, Wilds, what are we talking about here? I mean, this is the football version of depends on what the definition of is. Like, we know what we're talking about, and what we needed was a good F. Lee Bailey cross-examination, but that's not going to happen from the local Seattle media or from any media for that matter. So, if you're a Seahawks fan, Wilds, you got to feel good because it is resolved at this point. Even if that's just temporary. For this season, you're going to be fine. And then we'll see how this season goes. But I am not buying what Russ is selling. Even if I were him, I would be selling the exact same product. And let me tell you how good that product is, Wild. Yeah. It's great. You can't live without it. Got to have it. 100%.
Yeah, so I think it was a masterful job, Brandon. Here's the question. I think there's 2 teams that should be very happy right now. Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. So I think Aaron Rodgers looks at that and says, okay, like that's how it plays out. You cause a little bit of a fuss, you start some fires, they never really take off, and then you just kind of tamp them out, and then you move forward.
Right.
I think this is going to play out for Aaron Rodgers the exact same way. Do you feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to have more of a commotion, or do you see it's just going to be Aaron Rodgers soon with the new Green Bay Packers logo, just saying like, yeah, I never requested a trade. I sat down, it all worked out.
Wow, that was masterful how you put those words together. Wow, I love that. That was really good,
stop
man.
It. So you know what?
Jeez, I need to throw you.
Full sentences.
No, here's the deal, Wild. This is why I disagree with you, and I don't think it will play out this way, is because I do believe it was black and white with Russell Wilson when he said from the beginning that I want to be a Seattle Seahawk. He said, I'm the most winningest quarterback through 9 years, but there's some things that have to change. I want to continue to win. I want to continue to build on the Seattle Seahawk legacy. I want to continue to build on my legacy. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, is saying, like, you know what? I did that. I've been here 16 years. I love you guys, but it's time to move on. Well, I love most of you guys outside of Brian Gutekunst. So I think that's the difference. It's black and white for Russ. Russ sat down and said, look, if you change these things, then I will stay. If not, then it's time for us to look at other opportunities. And then in Green Bay, I think it's just all bad, that relationship between him